What's up guys, MrPerfectCell here. If you remember a while back, I made a video on Jiren versus Broly, and towards the latter end of that video, I said a much better topic would be doing like Jiren versus Gogeta rather than Broly. So that's kind of why I'm making this video, sort of as a follow-up to that one. And I have a guest with me here today. He wanted to be on the Jiren versus Broly video, but I forgot that he existed, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, it's Dark Knight. Yes, I'll cut me out of the fucking video like a loser. But I'm gonna be back here. I was discussing with Beerus versus all that, how fodder Beerus was, stuff like that. And this time we're gonna be hopping to a much more interesting topic. But I still think we're gonna be talking about a character that's just a tad bit overrated, Gogeta. So like, I think most people like try to overrate fusions and stuff like that. So we'll be going to like a that topic specifically and see how the fight would actually go, like anime-wise.
So for this video, we're obviously going to do anime Tournament of Power Goku versus Gogeta in the Broly movie. So without further ado, let's dive in. So I think the first thing we gotta discuss is Jiren versus Broly, since those are the only people that Ultra Instinct Goku and Gogeta Blue fight. Now, since I don't want to repeat my entire Jiren versus Broly video, me and Dark will just try to summarize the topic the best we can. There's a lot of statements from like promotion material, guidebooks, or just statements in like the actual anime suggesting that just normal full power Jiren is at the level of the Gods of Destruction, or just like flat out above them completely. The anime also makes note that Jiren is stronger than Melmod, who's stronger than Beerus according to Whis, which makes it even more apparent that Jiren is just supposed to be a threat stronger than the Gods of Destruction. Now, this is pretty similar to some stuff said about Broly. Like, for example, Goku makes a statement about Broly where he's like questioning if he's stronger than Beerus, which does line up with some promotion material in the movie, pretty much saying the same thing, with it all just hinting towards that Broly and full power Jiren are supposed to be around the same level. Now, I am aware there are a lot of statements from various different guides and promotional material suggesting that Broly is the strongest enemy, which is like the main argument people like to use to suggest Broly is stronger than Jiren, since Jiren is labeled as an enemy in some sources. But I'll let Dark explain why this argument isn't exactly too concrete.
So the biggest thing about Broly is his brute strength. He is constantly being stated to be the strongest in multiple different promotional materials, with some even going as far to say that he is the strongest Saiyan. Now, if we take those statements and apply them to the power Broly showed versus Gogeta, we all know that it doesn't work, as Broly definitely wasn't stronger than Gogeta Blue in their fight. And it also conflicts with Goku's statement, as he knows of the power Broly outputted against Gogeta, yet he still questions Broly being stronger than Beerus. And keep in mind that this is the same Goku that knows Jiren is above the God's of Destruction. So the real question you might be asking is, well, if it's not talking about the power Broly used against Gogeta, then what could it possibly be talking about? Well, it's probably referring to Broly's actual full power. But Dark-sama, Broly was already at full power when he fought Gogeta Blue! Well, was he? Taking a closer look at the source material and secondary guides, we know that Broly couldn't output his full power in his fight with Blue Gogeta. First, we have a statement from Psycho Jump Special that Broly, during his fight with Gogeta, he lost control over his power, and that had he been able to control his power, he would be quote-unquote sure to win. And within the Broly movie, Frieza, who had witnessed Gogeta push out a full power Kamehameha against Broly, he states that Broly would be the strongest once he can control his power. So that's two different statements for Broly's controlled full power being over Gogeta. This concept is further explained in the most recent chapter of Dragon Ball Super manga, with Vegeta telling Broly that it's good to derive power ups, from anger, but his problem is that he loses himself to it, and further highlights that because of this, Broly can't unleash his quote-unquote true might. Also, to add more consistency, Kale, who is the literally Universe 6 parallel version of Broly, also wasn't able to unleash her full power until she controlled her berserk state, which then gives her a quote-unquote massive power amp from before. So with all this evidence, it is a lot more consistent and less contradictory to say Broly's statement are referring to the full power that he has but can't access, rather than the power that he displayed against Blue Gogeta. So while Broly has more raw power than Gogeta Blue and Jiren, he couldn't output that in his movie. So with movie Broly's power output being questionably above Beerus, that movie Broly would be around 0-3 Goku or base Jiren level, and that's being very generous.
So with all that laid out, I think it's actually time to start comparing how Gogeta and Goku did against their respective opponents. And on a surface level, they both do just seem to overpower them in a pretty one-sided manner, but the way they actually outclass their opponents is a bit different, and I'll let Dark elaborate on that.
Now this might seem crazy what I'm about to say, but Gogeta Blue wasn't way stronger than the Broly he fought. The same guy I mentioned earlier that said a controlled Broly would beat Gogeta Blue also states that Gogeta Blue and Full Power Super Saiyan Broly fought on equal terms. So in terms of power, Gogeta and Broly were relative, but Gogeta had an obvious speed advantage. This is pretty consistent as when Gogeta and Broly fight as Super Saiyans, Gogeta is shown to be clearly faster in their combat exchanges, but both of them in power were roughly equal, which is shown in the Beam Clash. We also see that Broly was constantly enduring hits from Blue Gogeta without really sustaining much damage at all, and was forcing Gogeta to constantly power up over and over again to try and overtake Broly and bring him down. It came to the point Gogeta had to use a full power Kamehameha to finish off Broly. A Spanish-speaking guide for the Broly movie called Navarrete states that Gogeta felt that he needed to do this in order to ensure safety in the universe. So yes, Full Power Super Saiyan Broly grew relative in power to Gogeta Blue. He was just a tad bit slower, which caused Gogeta to have the edge that we saw in the movie.
On the flip side, once Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku starts fighting Jiren, he is shown blitzing him on numerous occasions and easily negates all of his attacks and damages him to the point where he is gasping for air and starts having trauma flashbacks. So with Goku and Jiren, Goku seems to be edging out Jiren in basically every single category, whereas with Gogeta, it was primarily a speed and skill thing. So I would argue that Goku was overpowering Jiren more than Gogeta was to Broly. Jiren then goes on to power up and breaks his own limits, and then starts overpowering the MUI Goku he was just losing to. There's even a scene where Goku is just on the ground struggling, and Krillin has to cheer him on just for him to stand up. Goku then beats Jiren out of his hidden power state, makes him have more PTSD flashbacks, gets a rage amp, and then nearly blasts Jiren out of the ring. Even if you thought feat-wise Goku and Gogeta were comparable before, after adapting to hidden power Jiren, he just has far better feats than Gogeta. However, there are a few arguments people like to bring up to suggest that Gogeta might be stronger.
So there is a statement in the Buu Saga Goku makes stating that the fusion always has greater power than either of the fuses could ever muster, but this same Goku in Battle of Gods states that Super Saiyan God was beyond anything he could have ever imagined, and he obviously imagined fusion as Goku turned down that possibility after getting slammed on King Kai's planet. Obviously I'm not saying that Super Saiyan God is greater than a fusion boost currently, but just that Goku statement in the Buu Saga is a bit outdated, so we can't really apply it to power-ups such as MUI.
The other thing I see people try to bring up is some promotional material for the Broly movie, calling Gogeta and Vegito as the strongest trump cards. Now, while this may seem bad if you're arguing for Goku, it really does not help Gogeta at all, as I think most people would agree that a trump card is something somebody would hold in reserve to gain an edge over someone. But Goku can't exactly use Ultra Instinct at will, so I don't get how something Goku doesn't even have access to willingly would be considered a trump card. So just any way you slice it, all pieces of evidence just seem to side with Goku being stronger than Gogeta, despite what the fanbase thinks. And I do understand it to a degree, as fusion is supposed to allow two fighters to obtain a power they can't reach on their own. But what people don't realize is that the godly power of complete Ultra Instinct is something that is even beyond that. The winner is Ultra Instinct Goku. And that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in my comment section who did not enjoy it. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's like just as many fanboys for like... well, I won't say as many as for Gogeta, but there's a lot as there was for Beerus as well. So I'm gonna like... people are not gonna like the idea of Goku being able to beat Gogeta. So it's not gonna look pretty well in your comments, but it's not my channel, so a little glad about that.
Oh, wow. But I mean, I do kind of get it with Gogeta a little bit more than Beerus, because I don't think it's too outlandish to say that, like, oh, the fusion would obviously beat, like, you know, one of the people he's comprised of. I think it's a little bit more reasonable than, like, with the Beerus stars.
Yeah, and he does, like, I will give him, like, give guys credit. He does, like, kind of, like, slam a, like, God Destruction tier character along those lines. But, like, then again, Goku obviously has better feats, so it just would go to Goku.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more content from me, of course you can check out my channel, and make sure to check out Dark's channel as well. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.